good? Who's minute? Hello, everybody. This is Queen Lenora. Okay, so today's date conversation is women, wives, we need to submit to our husbands. I know you're going to have an attitude. So before we start with that attitude, let's do it this way. I need you to submit, like, hit that bell notification, and you must need to share this video. You can tell I'm happy about my chair, huh? Look at my painting I did. And it says, she lovely. Isn't she wonderful? Okay, so let's get to talking. Okay, so we got all that out, and I got my singing out, because you know how I feel. I got to sing some songs. So I know we got some issues, you know. Oh, submitting. Oh, I'm a feminist. Oh, I'm a womanist. I'm just not gonna submit to my man. Who gonna tell me I need to submit to my man? Because I don't need to submit to my man. But you'll get in that car and submit to that red light. I know you heard that one before. Oh, you submit to your boss. Okay, you submit to your children. Yes, because most of you guys let your children run you. Okay, so let's get that under control. So we can do all that kind of submitting, but when it comes to our husbands, the one we said we become a one, the one we said we love, and we do all this big old giant vows in front of family and friends, and of course Yahweh, that is the one we're not going to submit to. We're not going to follow what God told us to do. Now, you know, God told us also that we need to, of course, submit to our husbands. And what do our husbands have to do? They have to love us. Oh, that's so easy. That's why he didn't tell you to love your husband. There is nowhere in the Bible where God told you to love your husband. But there is in Ephesians, what is it? I want to say, make sure I got it right. Ephesians 22 to 25. It keeps going. But I'm just going to go with the main thing. It says, why submit to your own? Not to Sally, not to your boyfriend, not to somebody else, but to your own husband. Yes. And then it says, husband loves your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Men have a hard time. They could go in and out of love like this, and they could switch the game. So we could talk about that at another time, but right now we are talking about why submit to your husband. So submit has such a bad name. And the reason I came up with this, well, I didn't come up with it. My sister woke me up in the morning and we talked about it. And so there was something going on Facebook or something, and she had to lay it down. And I was like, yeah, you gave me a good topic. She said, thanks. So I was supposed to do it live. As you can tell, I'm not doing it live. So anyway, I have just so much to say. So, and if we want to do a live, comment below and I will go live and we can talk about it, and I will have. So I have a lot to say, but I'm not going to really say all of it. I just want to give you the gist of what submitting is. Submitting does not mean you're his doormat. You got to follow every direction he say. It's really supporting. That's just what it is. I support you. What a lot of women do, especially women that have been living on their own for a long time before they get married, they tend to turn into a mother role because they're trying to prevent their man from making mistakes and everything else. And I have to tell women constantly when I have this conversation with newlyweds when they get married is, let the man make mistakes. It's all right. That's how he's going to learn to build up to be the man that you want him to be. He has to make these mistakes. If you guide him and do it all for him, he will never learn. And then you be like, and he don't do nothing and he can't do, because you never allowed him to. Because you never allowed him to make those mistakes. Oh, look at her. She's so cute. I just love my girl. That's my girl behind me. She's just like, amen to me. I feel it. Amen, girl. I hate her not. But anyway. So, I didn't know how much I loved the picture until I was looking at it just now. Like, I love my picture. Oh, I love my picture. Okay, so we're going to get back on it. So, that's one thing it is. It's not about being a doormat. It's not about doing everything he tells you to do when he tells you to do, how he tells you to do. If he tells you to hop on one leg, like on, what's that movie with Eddie Murphy? Coming to America. That's what you got to do. No. That's not submitting. That is being a slave, a doormat. Somebody that he has no respect for. You want to encourage your husband. You want to love your husband. You want to be a supporter. You want to be his biggest cheerleader. You want to be his advocate. You want to be the person with him. Are you going to have some disagreements? Yes. Hello. or there wouldn't be no arguments in a relationship, would it? But we don't want to belittle. He want to be able to tell you his deep, darkest secrets. He want to be able to let you know how he feels, what he thinks, what is going on. You should be his safe haven to talk about anything with you. And if he doesn't feel that way, then that's on you not submitting correctly. You thinking you got to be a doormat and all this other, that's not what it means. You can argue with you. You can have a disagreement and be like, no, I don't think you should do it that way, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to allow you to do that. And then when he makes a mistake, you're not up there, I told you wasn't going to do it right. I told you if you would have just did what I told you to do, then it would have been all right. No, you're going to be like, okay, so this is how we're going to fix it. This is what we're going to, this is why I was saying such and such and such and blah, blah, blah. Because a man's mindset is totally different from a woman's mindset. So, hello. But if you throw it in his face and all that, those are things that will detach you from him. And you don't want to be detached. You want to be, again, we're becoming as one. Like that. See? You can't see all 5 of my fingers, right? All 10. You see how? But it's straightforward. It doesn't look like one. Well, besides this part. But look at the fingers. That's what you want to be like in your relationship with your man. You want to be having understanding, concern, loving, and everything else. Hold on, I'm looking at some other stuff here. And it is understandable that you are going to have conflict of interest, but you want to be his supporter, his lover, his friend, guide him, direct him. Sometimes he's going to go off on the wrong track. Let him go off on the wrong track all the way over here. And then you slowly bring him back over here with love and comfort and understanding and respect and honor. So many people want to go against or prove that they're right about something or want everybody to agree with them. And I understand that, but that's wrong, especially when you get married. You do not want to do that. You want to be able to support and love and be understanding. And sometimes it's outside of your will. Oh, no, don't do that. Been there. I'll never, like, I used to say before I understood what submit was, I'd be like, I'm not going to be homeless. I'm not going to be sitting up here having no lights on. I'm not going to be living like this. I can do this. I can do this all by myself. I don't need to be with you to be doing that. And a guy had to tell me, shut up. Yes, God told Queen Lenore to shut up. And I shut up. And I let him make his mistake. And then I was going to say, I told you. And I said, okay, this is what we're going to do, baby. Okay, we're going to go over here. We're going to take care of this first, and then we're going to go over here and do this. And it's going to all come together. And when I did that, I saw a different attitude from when I said, I told you so. I knew you wasn't going to do it right. So you can't even be a man to do it right. I heard all kinds of comments, and I said a lot of those. I ain't going to act like I don't have a mouth. I have a mouth. Don't believe me, ask my children. Because I talk about all kinds of, they can't embarrass me. I'll be embarrassing them. That's what I do. So, I'm just saying I can say some things. And I know you women, too, can say some things. And we don't want to do that. Because the same way our husbands can hurt our feelings and say some demeaning things to us, we don't want to do the same to him either. We don't want to be doing no demeaning and disrespect. We want to be having a respectful relationship and loving one another and caring for one another and respecting for one another. And that is what submission in a marriage is. I'm going to disagree. To this day, I disagree with my husband. But then I'm like, well, do it your way. I'm going to let you do it your way. Because he got to learn. And if I do it for him, then he's not learning. We think that people going to learn by what we tell them. No. You know that story back in the day where you tell your kid not to touch the hot stove. And you keep telling them, they keep reaching for it. Until one day when they touch the hot stove, then they like, you ain't never got to tell them again. That's the same way with your husbands. Same way, because I know women, we feel like we know everything. And we think about everything. And I'm not even going to lie, we be knowing some stuff. And we do know, like, we think about everything outside. But if we don't allow our men to be men, how they going to be men? Because we ain't teaching them. Because sometimes you got to teach by being in action. Like, I'm a person that got to feel and touch and see to learn. You tell me to read it, I'm not going to comprehend it. I'm just not going to comprehend it. So I get my mother to read it, tell me what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'll go from there. And then we could go. But I'm more of a hands-on person. And most men, when it comes to a relationship, is hands-on. Especially if a man ain't never been a husband, he needs to learn a lot of stuff. He needs to learn that you guys are not one. He needs to learn how to be able to provide and take care of you. He needs to, and let's talk about provide and take care of. Provide and take care of doesn't also mean that he might be a house husband. But you still got to understand he's taking care of the household, making sure the kids are done, all that. Now, if you got one that just lazy, ain't doing nothing, then that's on you. Ain't no submitting. I can't even help you. I don't know what to tell you because he ain't doing nothing. So, that doesn't mean you can't have your emergency funds over here. Doesn't mean you can't do this over here. It just means that you got to allow him to make his mistakes. It doesn't mean that your emergency funds is to leave. Just like we just have emergency fund just in case something doesn't work out. Just like when you have emergency fund when you have a roommate or when you're living with your boyfriend. Just with your husband, you ain't just going to up and move out. Understood that? Okay, so I think I'm done doing a lot of stuff that I don't even have to read it. But one thing submission can do, it can make your husband appreciate you. It has some admiration for you. It gives him strength, which makes him love and trust you more and respects you more. And the more you submit to him, the more he will love you the right way, because you want him to love you the way Christ loved the church. He can love you the right way. Yes, you have a beautiful, oh, that should be a word. Ooh, beautiful relationship. You can have a better relationship. That's the proper way. He can have a better relationship. He can feel peace and contentment with you. He's going to tell you his deepest, darkest secrets. He's going to tell you all these things because he knows that you're not going to reject him or throw it back up in his face. Yes, he's going to feel relaxed no matter what mistakes he makes, because he knows you're standing right by his side to make it right. So I got some good notes here. You guys got to understand these notes is good. So proud of myself. Because I'm so tired of women feeling like submission is just being a doormat. Like he's not important to you. Like you're not important to him, and that your thoughts and ideals don't matter. That is not what submission means. And I want you to get that. That is not, everybody say, that is not what submission means, y'all. That is not what submission means, y'all. It doesn't. He just doesn't want you to belittle him or make him feel less than a man. Just like you don't want to feel belittled or less as a woman. You want to feel respected, cared for, and loved. You want your opinions to mean something, your advice to mean something. But sometimes he has to fall down the rabbit hole and figure out how to climb out of the rabbit hole to make it right. Then he'll never fall down it again. But if you keep stopping him from falling down the rabbit hole, he won't ever know how to get out. That's when they get into that depression. You got to be there. Be his support. Your husband will know that we as wives will respect him as our husband and accept his responsibility as head of the household. And you want your husband to be the head of the household. Yes, women, we can take care of ourselves. Yes, women, we can provide and do all the things by ourselves. But if that's the case, then why do we even get married? What is it for? Because people having sex outside of marriage anyway. So what are we getting married for? I got married. I knew. Before I met my husband, I had my own place, my own car. I knew how to take care of myself. That wasn't the case. But when I got married, that means I didn't have to worry about that. I could sit in the passenger seat and go like this and go, wow, did you see there's a little crab shack right there? I've been driving down the street for many years and never saw that crab shack because I was always driving. I want my husband to drive now. I don't want to drive. I want to be in the passenger side. Seat. See, look at that. That looks nice. Oh, husband. Oh, I wish you could see this. It is so beautiful. That's what a wife wants to do. Okay? Let him think about everything and worry about all the trials and tribulations on the oncoming traffic and all that and driving the cars. Because like I tell my kids, when you learn to drive, you are learning to drive for everybody else, because there's some people out here that do not know how to drive. And I'd rather my husband worries about that. Why I go sightseeing on the passenger side like this. Wow. Oh, honey, I want to go there. Oh, yeah, I want to go there. Oh, did you see that? You didn't see that? Okay. Oh, maybe if we get this red light right here, you can see it. Oh, okay, the red light there. Yeah, that's what I understand. Those are what you're trying to do in the seat. So, like my pastor Martin told me, he always says women stay in the passenger side. Let the man drive. Sometimes you gotta drive because the man ain't there because he at work or something. So you gotta drive, the kids and rugrats. Those people, they keep calling your name and act like daddy ain't there. Yeah, those people. Those are the ones that go, mom, but like they don't know the word dad. Like, didn't you just pass up your dad to come talk to me? You see how I just got off subject? Because those are things women got to worry about all the time. Like, you be in the bathroom minding your business and your kids are knocking on the door and they just walk in. Mine just walk in. There's no knocking. They walk in talking about, it was funny because today my dad was like, oh, can I come in and say, how you doing, Mom? Like I wasn't sitting on the toilet. That was my breakaway. You don't get breakaways as a wife, so why not be sitting in the dang passenger side with your husband driving? So he's driving the marriage. That's what the case of this driving. Now, in case you just did not know what I mean, he is driving the marriage, okay? And you're the passenger. You still got some points to say. I might be like, if you turn this way, make it better. If you just turn, okay, do it your way then. And then he'll sometimes get smart mouth like, well, do you want to drive? And I'll be like, nope, go ahead. Go ahead, do your thing. And sometimes as women, we got to drive, if we're going to use the analogy of drive. Because there's certain things that happen where the man can't drive. But doesn't mean he's less than the head of the household. And doesn't mean you do not submit, okay? Because there's a point in time my husband couldn't see, so he couldn't drive. I had to drive. Did that make me more of a man than he was? No. Just, man, I was helping. I was being that helpmate. I came in and swooped in when I needed to. And sometimes we take that as advantage that we think we're better and we know how to drive better. But when a man knows how to really drive and he takes the time to drive and make sure his family is safe in the car of love, and he's loving us the way Christ loves the church, then it's good, and he knows he has a wife that is submitting under him and respecting him. It doesn't mean I'm less than, it doesn't mean me less, because again, we became one. So if I'm less than him, then he's less. So it doesn't mean that. Get that and you understand, when you become one, you become one. Okay, I did it right there. Become one. That's what happens when you become one. You went like this, and then you said I do, and now you're one. So it doesn't mean if you less than, you can't be one anymore because you less. You're under. We are one. But the thing is, I have a different role than his role. And he has a different role than my role. And I accept that. And I'm not going to be a womanist or a feminist to then come up and say I could do what he could do. Then I was doing what he was doing before we got married. Unless we just left the household of our parents and went straight to marriage. But most of us didn't do that. Maybe back in the day they did that. But most of us didn't. We knew how to live on our own and provide and take care of ourselves. So we don't have to prove that. I don't have to prove that I could get in the football field. I don't have to prove I do stuff that I don't want to do. If I want to play football, okay, but I don't got to prove it if I don't want to. I know how to pay my bills and take care of my rent and my kids and all that. I just don't want to. What was the point of me getting married if I had to do all that? So think about that, ladies, when you're thinking about submission. Submission is not a bad thing. It's just being a support and a love and a cheerlead. Because one of the things I hate when I hear women say it all the time is, why am I going to praise him for doing the dishes? I do the dishes all the time. Ain't nobody praising me. And I always tell a woman when they tell me that, well, I'll tell you one thing. My husband better praise me when I take out that garbage, because I don't take out the garbage. And if he want me to ever do it again, he better act like that was the best thing since slavery. Girl, I know what you mean. We high five it. But you can high five at the dishes. Give that man his credit. If he don't do the dishes all the time and he do it, yes, praise him. Say, baby, you did the dishes. You looking good when you washing dishes. Baby, I might have to bring you to the bedroom. Those things encourages them. You ain't got to be up there with a pom-pom and doing all that. You see how I made the word encourages them? I'm making up words. I'm so proud of myself. Just saying, I'm proud. But anyway, so my thing is, you could do what you want to do, but submission is not the negativity that you're thinking it is. You don't think negativity when you stop at the red light. You don't think negativity when you sit up there doing what your boss tells you. Even if you don't agree with it, you keep your mouth closed. And you might give your opinion, and it's up to your boss to take it or not, right? The same way with your husband, but it's differently because most likely he's going to take your advice. But if he doesn't, he has to learn to fall, so he doesn't make those mistakes, and he'll figure out how to fix it better for him. Because the way men fix things are totally different than the way women fix things. Men are fixers, so when they see the problem and they feel the problem, they try to fix it this way. Well, as women, we going all around and we're making it all pretty and we design and stuff. No, that is not the case. So understand that we are two totally different. Females, we are more of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Where men go 1, 7, 9, 3, 8, 12, 4. And we don't need those other numbers. And it works well for them. Okay? So get that in your head as well. Let me make sure. And what it doesn't mean that we don't have our own opinion, as I've been saying, or ideas about the problem, or that we just don't agree with our husband. And that is all right if we don't. And I think it's one of those things, if we don't, it brings more clarity because we have that. So he can understand that, okay, maybe she's not. Okay, so she said that she's not going to do it this way because blah, 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 blah. That might give him some internal thing. And that's a good thing if we don't do that. So by us giving our opinion, our advice, our suggestion, helping hand, understanding, and listening to him, we will be invaluable to our husbands on our such invaluable to him in such an unbelievable way. So it's all right to not always agree or to follow, but sometimes we got to remember we're not their mother. We are their wives, and we need them to learn. And you go, well, I don't have time to be waiting for them to learn something. I ain't got time to be waiting for this and teaching them this and that and that. When everybody told you to teach them a darn thing, for one, didn't tell you to teach them a darn thing. You agree? That's what she said. That's why she closed her eyes. She said, I agree. We didn't ask you to teach him nothing. But when you said I do, he's never been a husband. And if he has, he's never been a husband to you. So he has to learn, and he has to fail and burn, crash, whatever, to be the husband that you desire. But if you keep trying to protect him from crashing and burning because you're scared of being homeless or without lights or without this or without a car, insurance, and all this other stuff, then he will never learn. And then you're going to always have problems. So the best way not to have the problem is let him crash and burn. Let him grow up to be this man for you, the husband for you. And if you didn't let God choose the man for you, then you're going to have more problems than you expected. Oopsie. But don't think if God did choose him that you won't have problems. Because let me tell you, I know God chose this husband for me, but we had some issues in the beginning. But a lot of it I learned that even when I messed up in my first marriage that I didn't realize. And I didn't realize, but I realized later, is that I wasn't letting him crash and burn. I was too busy trying to stop him from crashing and burning that I was more like his mother than his helpmate, his lover, his friend, his confidant, the person that's supposed to be there. I was not his full wife. And I did that with my husband that I'm with now. And I had to slow down, get myself together, and let him crash and burn. And what I found out is he didn't even crash and burn as bad as I thought he was going to. But I had to learn. So just as well as he has to learn to be a husband that was best for me, I had to learn to be the wife that he needed. So, submission. Is it all that bad now? Now that you know what submission is it really bad? No, it's not bad. Don't even try it. I know you guys trying something. Put it down in the comments if you believe submission is really bad after I taught you and told you how submission is. Like, it is fun. And I'm going to tell you, my relationship is a lot better. And we've been married 21 years. And I can tell you right now, in our 21 years of marriage, and we've known each other 21 years, and we've been married 21 years. And I can tell you right now, I don't have as many arguments as most people in the world do. I think we've had, in our whole marriage, probably 4 to 6 major arguments. And 2 of them was because it was that time of the month. Just say, no, I think it was this one. No, that wasn't, it didn't mess up my marriage on that one. Okay, so one of them was that time of the month. So, ladies, I know, say yes. Submission is not really bad if you're thinking about it this way. And if your men don't know what submission is, have them listen to this video as well. Because sometimes men do feel like you beneath me. I get to belittle you. like like you're in the BDSM. I'm the master. Excuse me. I'm the master. You're the slave. Da da da. Yeah. Just saying. Think about it. That's all I could tell you to do. Submission is not that bad. It's awesome if you're doing it the right way. And it works for both of you guys. And I can get on love too. Because husbands got to love their wife like Christ loved the church. And I tell you, that ain't as easy as it is supposed to. That's why men got the love. Because women, we know how to love. We don't need help in loving. We need help in submission. And that's why God said, submit to your husbands, wives. Wives, not girlfriends. Not baby mamas. Not all. He said wives. Did he say wives in there? Let's see. Wives, submit to your own. So don't be trying to find somebody else's husband talking about I submitted to him. It says submit to your own husband as to the Lord. Okay. Remember that. That's Ephesians 5:22. So if you want to check it out, go ahead and check it out. There's so much more. But you guys, look up submission and understand submission. It is all right. And it's such a wonderful thing when you both can submit. Well, you submit as a wife and your husband loves you like Christ loved the church. Oh my goodness, the amazing moments that you get in that relationship. And like I said, out of my 21 years of marriage, I think me and my husband got in 6 major fights. And one of them was PMS, so we're not going to include that one. So we're just going to say 5 major fights. If that. I mean, I have to really, I feel bad if I don't say 5, because I feel like if it's 2 or 3, it just don't seem right. But it's because I submitted the way I'm supposed to. And he loves me the way he's supposed to. And even though we might have had all kinds of struggles, and we had like the biggest one is our biggest arguments we always have is financial. And now we don't even argue that. So probably 2 of those out of the 5 was financial. And that's just because we was broke. And somebody wanted to buy something that we shouldn't be buying while we broke. So submission is not a bad thing. And I also do want to say this before I go. I do believe it would be wrong if we did not express our feelings the right way to our husbands. But when we express our feelings, we don't belittle him, make him feel less than, or make him feel stupid or dumb, or say those words to them when they're trying to figure things out. Let them fail. If they don't want to listen to you, it's all right for them to fail. And you can have a cushioning over here waiting. And be supportive and love him. And then when he fails, help him out of the failure. And just love him and say, baby, so what do you want us to do next? How do you want us to handle this one? Or do you want to try my ideal now? What's going on? Tell me what you want. I'm here for you. Don't make him feel less than a man. Because you don't ever want him to be so conscious about being a man. I hope you like my show. Please subscribe, like, follow, and don't forget to hit the bell notification to see me when I pop up. And remember to love and live each day as if it were your last. Smooches.